Hello, this is Valerie Munro, and today we're having a bit of a celebration. As you'll know by now, Richmond Talking Newspaper is celebrating its 40th anniversary. To start the feature off, I'd like to invite a few of our friends who have some special messages for us.
Hello everyone at Richmond Talking Newspaper. This is Peter White of the In Touch programme and President of Talking News. This is really just to wish you all an extremely happy 40th birthday celebration and to thank again all the people who work so hard to make the newspapers, and thanks from those of us who listen to them as well. I hope you have a really good time and carry on the good work.
Hello, I'm Justine Parker, Discovery and Access Coordinator at Kew Gardens. I would just like to wish Richmond Talking Newspaper a very happy 40th birthday and hope you enjoy your celebrations. I'd like to thank you all for the great work that you do, bringing the community together and preventing isolation, and also for your help promoting Kew Gardens access offers.
Hello, this is Vince Cable, and I'd like to wish Richmond Talking Newspaper a happy 40th birthday. I've contributed to the newspaper for much of the last decade, reporting on events in Parliament as they relate to the constituency, and I recognise the enormous value of the Talking Newspaper to those who are otherwise cut off from news about the local community. So long may you continue.
Hello, I'm Mickey Forster from Fish Neighbourhood Care. I've just dropped in to say a very, very happy 40th anniversary to Richmond Talking Newspapers. We're a wee bit older than you. We were founded back in the 60s, over 55 years ago, but we're going strong. And if you live in Barnes, Mortlake and East Sheen, need a little extra help, you can always contact Fish. To find out more about activities and events, please contact us on 020 8876 3335.
Hello, this is Zach Goldsmith, and I want to wish Richmond Talking Papers a happy 40th birthday. I've had the pleasure of talking to Valerie Munro almost every month for years now, and have enjoyed covering a hugely wide range of issues, local, national and international, and I look forward to doing so for many years to come.
Hello everyone, this is Councillor Ben Kosa, and I'm the current Mayor of the lovely borough of Richmond upon Thames, and I'd like to wish Richmond Talking Newspaper a fabulous 40th birthday! Whoever thought of this talking newspaper 40 years ago deserves a medal, and so do the people who keep it going to this day. So well done everyone, eat lots and lots of birthday cake, and enjoy the birthday!
Oh dear. And if that doesn't get you in the party mood, I'm not sure quite what will. Richmond Talking Newspaper was set up by both Sheila Roberts and Pat Ingham, and you'll already have heard the story from the article that was published in last week's Richmond and Twickenham Times. Pat Ingham has now very kindly given us a copy of programme number 1, and we're now going to listen to some of it, to the top few headlines of that particular day, the 20th of April 1979. And I do apologise for the couple of clicks and bangs early on in the tape, but there was really nothing that we could do to edit them out. Do remember that we were working with a cassette tape that was 40 years old.
Welcome to the first edition of Richmond upon Thames Talking News, recorded on the 20th of April 1979. Our readers today are
Eileen Yates,
Jeff Gilbert
and Mary Robinson.
The editor is Pat Ingham and I'm Maureen Fenn, and I'll be introducing and signing off each side. The technicians are Mike Pontin and Simon Tyrrell-Lewis. This week's headlines are Near Revolt as Tories Give In, GLC Playing With Our Lives, Plan Over Threat to Cinema, and Fire Eater Revived by a Doctor. Near revolt as Tories give in. There was a near revolt among members of the majority Tory group at Tuesday night's meeting of Richmond upon Thames Council, when the Tories gave way to pressure from the Liberal opposition group. This involved a delay in approving an offer of £1,185,000 by Focus 21 Development Limited for carrying out a residential development on the Hampton nursery lands. 5 Tories had declared an interest in the matter.
GLC playing with our lives. Richmond's only fire engine has been tied up dealing with rubbish fires at the Townmead Road depot 3 times during the past week, and a senior fireman warned yesterday that this could lead to tragedy. With the brigade committed there for anything up to 2 hours, there is no one available to cover any domestic fire on our patch, he said. We firemen are all very worried that someone is going to die. And this was not the first time it had arisen, he said. Records show that men from Richmond had to attend 30 to 40 unnecessary blazes at the dump each year. The problem, it is claimed, has been worsened by cutbacks in the service provided from Richmond.
Petition plan over threat to cinema. A storm of local protest has begun over plans to turn the Gorman Cinema, Richmond, into a hamburger bar. Petitions and pickets are planned. Head of the protest is Lita Saminga, a psychology student who lives in East Twickenham. She plans to launch a petition calling for the repossession of this Gorman as a cinema. On Saturday afternoon, she and other protesters will be picketing outside the cinema and asking people to sign the petition. She told the Herald this week, "I've been a local person all my life and a cinema goer. I do not see why I should be deprived of this cinema now. It would be a crass bureaucratic blunder to get rid of it." Apart from the signatures of the local residents, Lita plans to try to add more weight to the protest by enlisting the help of some of the big stars who live locally. Include Tommy Steele, who lives in Petersham and has made much of his living from films, Patrick Cargill of Sheen, Gilly Cooper, Esther Ranson of Kew, and Richmond Attenborough of Richmond. Fire eater revived by a doctor. There was a dramatic end to the fire-eating world record-breaking attempt by Twickenham disc jockey Daryl Hayden this weekend, when he collapsed unconscious because of a lack of oxygen. Daryl, of 15 Comic Road, had to be revived by a doctor after collapsing in the Dolphin Pub in Kingston on Sunday night, having smashed the previous fire-eating record of 1,921 sticks in 2 hours by swallowing a scorching 2,509 sticks in 1 hour and 52 minutes. "I was starved of oxygen at the end. That is why I collapsed," Daryl said the day after shattering the world record. "Although I had several serious blisters in my mouth after the 2-hour session, most of them have now gone, but my mouth is completely desensitized." His mind blank. Daryl actually smashed the previous record in 90 minutes before going on to break the 2,500 target. 3 educators from the Guinness Book of Records checked that each of the fire sticks, which had to have a flame of more than 12 inches, were properly extinguished to guarantee Daryl a place in the next edition.
I wasn't able to find any of those original 1979 readers, but I met up with Larry Dan, a name and a voice that you'll recognise as he's still on the reading team. He joined us in 1983.
I think it was then, yes, because I'd moved into the area, I should say we moved into the area in 82, into Hampton Hill from Feltham. So yes, it was very soon after that I went to a party, which my wife might be able to tell you about, because I don't remember much about it. And I was talked into coming to do this talking newspaper thing, which I knew nothing about.
How was it described to you?
It wasn't. I was volunteered by my wife. I was saying, I think she said, "Oh, my husband will do that, because he's an actor." And that was it. So I was volunteered, and I went down. I knew nothing about it, didn't know what it was all about. And I went to this hall in Teddington on a given day. I think it must have been a Friday, I suppose. Would have been a Friday. I think everything.
Friday, because that's the day that the
Yes.
paper is published.
Yeah, of course, that's right. We read from the paper that's published on Friday. Yes, so and I went down and I did it, and I didn't think any more about it until I was asked back next week, and the week not next week, the next few weeks. I think we do every 4 or 5 weeks in those days. Yes, and I've been doing it ever since.
Can I just take you back to how you managed to get, not quite arm wrestled in to volunteer for Richmond Talking Newspaper, but it was because you were an actor.
Yes, well, it was. It was.
So what were you acting in at the time?
Oh, I don't know. It's just like asking a plumber, which house were you plumbing at the time? My life in the entertainment business, for want of a better word, it was my job, it's my work. It was very important to me. I can't remember things like that.
So you might have changed productions.
I could have been doing anything.
Basis.
I could have been
Commercials?
Oh, I was commercial king in those days. Television commercial king. I couldn't go wrong. I was in every other commercial. I used to do quite a few with Ridley Scott, who was a huge famous director now. He was a very good commercial maker, and he used me a lot. And of course, when he went into films, he never flipping called me once.
Oh.
There you go.
But one production that you were associated with for quite a long time was, of course...
What, The Bill?
The Bill.
Oh, yes, that came as a mistake. I'd always said to myself, not to anybody else, that I didn't want to be involved in a long-running series, because I was keen to, like a plumber, do a different job in different places each time. I liked working with different people, doing theatre, television, film, radio, all those sort of things. Done all of that. And The Bill came along. It was a call from my agent, which was quite rare. And I always remember this. He said to me, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I think I replied, said, "Well, I think you should know." He said, "Well, they've asked for you to come along and do a scene in a police series programme. Do you want to do it?" I said, "Oh, yes, yeah, go on, I'll do it." He said, "Well, they'll bike round the script," which they used to do. They got a bike and they came round with the script so I could look at it and go in first thing in the morning. And I went in and I had this scene, dressed as a police sergeant. I was the night sergeant, that's right, I was the night sergeant, and I was handing over to the day sergeant, which was Eric Richards, who did the actor you probably remember from The Bill, the actor with the big nose. Sorry, Eric. And I had this scene with Eric, which I knew well. We'd actually recently done a play together at Stratford East, so and we'd done a couple of things before that. So I knew Eric. So we went in. I did this scene. I had a page of dialogue telling him what happened in the night and who's in what cell. Blah 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 blah. See you tomorrow. Type scene. Did that. Thought nothing of it. Went home. Didn't hear anything for a few weeks, and they got a call. Said they'd like you to do another one of those. Would you do another episode of The Bill? I said, "Oh, all right." And I did that, and 7 years later I was still doing it. So I did exactly what I said I would never do.
Well, isn't that life?
It is. It actually made us quite comfortable financially, obviously. But the problem with The Bill for me was, and it hurt a lot, was that you signed a contract and you weren't allowed to do anything else. Mm. So no commercials, you were tied down to them. And in hindsight, to be honest, I thought about that. I got my agent. I should have asked for a great deal more money because because we weren't paid that well, to be honest. We got a reasonable wage, but a bit better than being a plumber for the week, but not much. Everyone thinks you earn a fortune doing that sort of thing, but you don't. So that was it. That's how I got into The Bill. Yes.
Well, curiously, I was in Hong Kong at the time that The Bill was launched.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a visiting policeman, and I got to talk to all the visiting celebrities, policemen and all sorts of Crown Jeweller and people like that. And I said, "What's this new programme like?" And he said, it's very, very good. It's very authentic. They've obviously done their homework.
We had.
Very good.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I was sent out when eventually it was... this was the first series, obviously. I had the first line in the first episode, I understand, as it went out. I didn't realise that. They were making it, but they didn't know what success they would have of it. So we were just doing what we did. But when it came after the first series, the Thames Television decided to make a whole lot of series about it because it was going very well. We then, the regulars, there were only about 10 or 12 of us, were sent out to various police stations to be with the police and work and see what happened, how to learn the techniques. Hence, I think we did our homework, and of course the writers and the producers, creators did their homework too. So we sort of basically knew what we were doing. And the best thing to me one of the best things about the bill was, I remember Peter Cugine, the executive producer, had us all in a meeting. And he said, there are no stars in this show except one, and that is Sun Hill Police Station. You just happen to be supporting that star. And I thought it was a great thing to say. So nobody but in the cast was going to take over and be the love interest or whatever. We didn't do any of that in those days. What you knew about us as policemen was only as policemen. You didn't know anything about our private lives, what we did, where we went, where we lived. The whole thing was Sun Hill Police Station and what happened there and its environs and around it. Yeah, it was interesting.
It's a bit like talking newspaper, isn't it?
It is.
Where none of us are stars. It's the newspaper.
Except for me, of course, Valerie. No, come on.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much indeed for joining us in this special birthday celebration.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Yeah.
And may the next 40 years be as happy as the first.
I should be looking forward to doing them.
And thank you very much indeed, and best of luck. And we'll raise an imaginary glass of Prosecco to
absolutely
Richmond Talking Newspaper.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And this is Valerie Munro returning you to the reading.